Well, hey, sissy.
Hi, sister. Mrs. Claus over there.
Yeah, look at you with all your Christmas flair on. We'll be sure to send a photo or a little clip later on of us looking very Festivus today for
I
this
showed up
recording.
for the occasion tonight.
Yes, sure did. I love
Yes.
the blue upside down Santa sweater you're rocking.
That's from Value Village. I found it there. I was thinking that I needed to have a new Christmas sweater this year. So I got it.
You knocked it out of the park with that one.
Yeah, there's even some sequins on it.
Well, we want to welcome all of our listeners back to Sister Social Call and say a very special hello to all of our new listeners.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the show. For all of our return listeners, thank you so much. And for all of our new listeners, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes. Well, sissy, can you believe this is episode 50? I can't believe we are at this time of the year where we are reviewing our first year of episodes, and we are doing it. We've made our first year.
It went by so fast. I can't believe that because probably at this time last year, we were probably trying to record. I remember I got these like crappy wireless mics and we were probably trying. And then we were like, screw it. We're going to put this on the back burner till after the new year because we were getting a little frustrated. So we were probably already starting the process at this point in time.
Yes, that's very true. And it was on our third time that was the one we went with and released. And Sean and I are coming back to Regina, and I'm going to make him listen to all of our episodes because he hasn't listened to any of them in their whole. He's only heard me editing them.
So he's probably actually listened to them, but like not all at once, but he's probably heard everything.
Yeah, he's heard a lot. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's been a lot that we've talked about. We've covered a lot of ground in this year. Let me tell you, it's been great. I've really loved every minute of it. I truly have. I enjoy our Wednesday nights getting together and record the podcast. I just love it.
Yeah, it's been a really fun thing to do with you, sis. We've never done anything quite this big before together.
No, we haven't. But I think we really complement each other. Like in the areas that I lack in, you excel in, and the areas that I excel in, you maybe don't excel as much as I excel. You know, like I think we just complement each other so well that we're like the perfect team.
Aw. Yeah, like I really enjoy the administrative part, which shouldn't surprise anybody because I'm such a nerd. Like drafting our scripts or writing our outlines and kind of planning what we're going to be talking about for, a quarter of the year and editing. I don't even mind editing.
Yeah.
And it's part of my week now, and I often just lay in bed at nighttime and edit. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you guys, I have to be totally honest. Stacey does most of the hard work when it comes to the podcast. I honestly do some social media posts and then I kind of just show up and have a conversation.
That's true.
So,
she doesn't even tell me what she's going to say.
No, she never gets to know. And that I like that part because I can't plan that. I just like to, I can't plan it. So
Yeah.
It's just fun for all of us. I mean, I think though I should probably learn how to edit just in case there's ever a time where you need a break or something. So maybe one of these days when I come out on a weekend trip or something, we can have like a sister social call day. But anyways, you're doing a great job. And I do all my editing for my Blooms and Brushstrokes YouTube channels. And I have to do all my Pure Vita hair co stuff. So I'm really grateful that you take the reins on this one because I don't think I could fit any more into my schedule. Even just before we got on here, I was editing my Blooms and Brushstrokes next YouTube video. All of a sudden I was like, wow, I'm almost at time to record. And there's just always something. Or I'm like planning the next couple social media posts for Pure Vita Hair Co. So I'm thankful for that. So I appreciate it. And you're really, really good at it.
One, I'm thankful that you always get our thumbnail done and our first posts, and you'll just whip off a story. I need to think about these things a lot more, like the social media stuff, but I'm grateful for you doing it. I look forward to what 2026 and our second season will bring us.
Me too. I think we're going to have some pretty juicy episodes. Like we're really getting comfortable with the podcast. We're getting comfortable putting ourselves out there. I'm never uncomfortable with that, but and I really think that we're going to have some great chats coming up in the future. I think we have some things happening in life right now that will really be interesting to talk about in the future.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a great year of awesome content.
Yeah. Well, tonight we're going to share with our listeners our top 5 episodes. So the way that we measured this, or I measured it and Chrissy's going along with it, but it actually holds up. But um, I use our downloads from the first week because we have new episodes now. Their overall downloads are less than our first episodes. So we went with our 5 most popular in the first week of downloads for our top 5 episodes. So shall we get started, sis?
Well, absolutely. Let's get
Okay.
at her. Why don't you start us off here with number 5?
Okay. Our 5th most downloaded episode in the first week was episode 34, which was the back to school episode with our niece Mazzy. It was so fun to have J on the podcast. Mazzy was very articulate about going back to school at a new school, her new art program she is in, and AI in art. Sis, what did you remember of that episode with Maz?
Well, she was like nervous and excited, as Christine would say. She was just like so excited. She really wanted to be on the podcast. And then she was very excited. You could tell she was like a little bit nervous, but she did such an incredible job. She's definitely coming into her own as a young woman, and her actually switching schools has been such an incredible move for her. She's really found her jam there. So anyways, it's cool because I went to go see her play the musical The Addams Family, and I was really able to see her, like, so hearing the podcast, and she was all excited about that and talking about all that, the switch up and the arts program and all that stuff. And then I got to see her just in that. It was just cool to have had the podcast experience with her and then see her really shining bright there.
Maz, we are so proud of you for being accepted into the special art program. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, I love that. As you know, I love art myself, so I think that's pretty awesome for you. So how are you feeling about changing schools in grade 10, Maz?
I'm actually very excited to change schools. I'm really happy to be part of this new school, especially because my old school wasn't really like artist friendly. Sure, there was like art class, but it never had like special art programs for like artists or musicians. So that's definitely what I'm very excited for. At my old school, I was in grade 9, but now I'm going into a new school. So I guess just like knowing my way around the school is going to be a bit hard, but otherwise then I'm like super excited, honestly. Yeah.
Thank you, Mazzy, for hanging out with your aunties and having fun with us. I guess I can move on to our fourth most downloaded episode in the first week was episode 37, Child-Free Life. Why Stacey and Krista have chosen a child-free life. People haven't really ever asked us about this. However, it is interesting because this episode clocked in very high. A lot of people were interested in listening to this. I think perhaps they were interested in listening because they're curious, but nobody wants to ask in case there's like infertility, in case there's been like trauma in that department, so people don't want to ask. It's kind of faux pas actually to ask people about that these days because so many people have stories as to why they haven't conceived, why they can't conceive, they are infertility treatments right now, like whatever, right? So I just think people don't ask. So when we put it out there, people are like, yes, I'm in. I want to hear this. Sign me up. Like, let's go. Because then they don't have to ask and we can just put it out there. And then there's no questions. I mean, if somebody had a further question, they could reach out to us because we were open about it. And so then we created this safe space for people to actually reach out. I think that's exactly why that was a hit. What about you, sis? Like, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think this podcast space is filled with parents and parenting advice. And so I think us just putting our child-free life out there is a voice that's not often heard. So I'm really happy to see that people were curious. And yes, it's a little bit like, people like to hear the chisme, like the gossip and the harder things about life. But people are curious about how two sisters would choose the same child-free life.
Yeah, for sure. So they got to hear all about it.
We're going to talk about our decision to not have kids. In the podcasting space, there's a lot of podcasts that talk about parenting and children and not a lot about people that are child-free. So Christy and I thought it would be informative and fun to share our personal experiences about how we came to this decision in our lives and answer some common questions we get.
So, before we begin, I thought it'd be important to discuss the words childless and child-free. The words childless and child-free often get used interchangeably, but they carry very different connotations. Childless implies lack or absence of children, often with an undertone of loss, regret, or involuntariness. Example, a couple who wants children but cannot have them may describe themselves as childless. Historically, it has been the default word, but it can actually feel negative because it defines people by what they don't have. Child-free implies a choice to not have children, often with a tone of independence, autonomy, or liberation. Example, someone who does not want to become a parent may proudly identify as child-free. The free suffix emphasizes freedom rather than lack, and it's used positively by those who want to distinguish their decision from involuntary childlessness. So that is why you will hear Stacey and I use the phrase child-free, because we both made a choice to not have children.
Okay, moving on to our third most downloaded episode in the first week. It was episode 33. Welcome the incredible Christine Borschneck.
Oh, yeah, that one was great.
It was really amazing to have Christine, your somatic therapist, here to discuss your women's group. It was probably one of our strongest themes that came throughout the year, was talking about your women's group, because it often showed up in your peaks. Yeah, it was really special to have Christine here to help us understand the program that you had been a part of and the really special relationships that you have created with the women that have gone through this program with you, Sissy.
Yeah, what an absolute delight to have her on. I was so honored that she would join us and share, because, the experience for me, I think I'm starting to be able to articulate better what it was to me now, and what the whole You Make Sense was, and all that good stuff. So anyways, at the time, I was really, people would ask me, and I was finding it very hard to explain to people truly what it was all about. And each person's experience is very different. So what it was to me would be very different to the next person. So I was so thankful she could come on and really elaborate more into all that, because I think it really clarified for people. And I think it also really inspired people. I know a few people who actually have done the You Make Sense after, because she's offered it, and she's actually going to be offering it again, the You Make Sense, starting in January again. So lucky for everybody out there, if you've been curious about that, she is offering another round of it for people. And so if you've been curious about it and you have the time and the means to do it, you should do it. I think it is amazing.
Christine, the work that happened in You Make Sense, I know that changes people's lives. We witnessed it ourselves, and I seriously think that could be so beneficial to so many people. And just the little bits I've talked about, people are so curious about it. And I just would love for you to talk about that so people can understand what that really truly was and what the whole idea was behind it.
Yeah, for sure. I really created that because I saw in my practice how people's inner landscapes of who they are, their emotions, their sensations, how they believe in themselves really don't make sense to themselves or others. So how can you ever feel fulfilled if you don't know your own inner landscape, to be able to ever ask for another human being to hold you, love you, see you, understand you. And so it was birthed from a place of true belief that our feelings, our experiences, our bodies are absolutely not mistakes. And they're signals to us. And when we learn how to decipher our signals, our body signals, we make sense, a whole lot of sense. And, I was doing this in my one-on-one practice, but I really, really believe, with the core of who I am, that you put women together in a very safe way and you will see profound repair, profound changes. Because, we're all just looking to be seen. We're all just looking to be heard, to be understood, to be held.
Thank you, Christine, for sharing with us and being a part of this. I know that Christine is going to be a part of my life for the rest of time. So she'll grace us with her presence, I hope, at another time again as well in the future.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So anyhow, our second most downloaded episode in the first week was episode 1. Welcome to Sisters Social Call. Well, we were quite surprised by the amount of downloads that happened with this bad boy when it first went out to the world. And I just re-listened to it on a walk the other day. I have not been able to. I'm like, I can't do it because I know it's rough. The amount of times I say like in the first 5 episodes is enough for everybody in their lifetime. But anyways, I did listen to it because I want to hear, I do want to go back and re-listen to some of the podcasts. And, I'm really proud of us for just going with it and saying to hell with it. We're going with it, whatever. And, we had a lot of clarity with that when we went to Pod Summit because everybody's had those really cringy first episodes. Everybody talks about them and it's part of your story. It's part of our sister social call. People can see the growth in us as they move through, even just in our skills of podcasting. It's a doozy. Go back and listen if you...
The one thing that I've learned over this year is that podcasts are a lot more evergreen, that people will always go back and listen to the first episode, and that it is so cringy to me to think that that's their first experience with us is to hit at number 1. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I would love to re-record like a number 1.2, almost like a second shot at it and re-release it and be like, it is just...
There's no way. I love that that's there and it's out there. It just shows how freaking anybody and everybody can do this. You just have to start somewhere. We're not perfect and we're not polished. You don't have to be. You can just go out and get at her. And as time goes on, even still to this day, it's like we have little bloopers and blips and whatever else. And it's not always perfect, but we still do it. And that I think is the best part about our podcast is that we're real in all areas about our life, but also in just, hey, we're learning as we go as well. I know that you wanted to do it. You're like, should we re-record the first one? I'm like, no way. We're just going to let that one be.
Hey guys, I'm Krista, and this is my big sister Stacey.
And this is Sister Social Call. Hi, Sissy.
Hey, Sissy. How's it going?
Good. How are you this morning?
Pretty good. Scrambling as per usual. That's how I like to roll. How are you?
Yeah, good. You can't. Our audience won't be able to see this, but I put on my yellow blazer, and I wear this blazer only when I feel like it's like time to get down to business. And so this is it. This is our first podcast. We have done 2 trials, but this is it. Like I put on my blazer because this one is going out to the world, and I mean it.
Yeah. Before we adventure into this whole podcast business, why don't we introduce ourselves a little bit, sis?
Yeah, let's go for it. You first. So I think that concludes our first episode, sis. That was lots of fun. I love you.
Love you too. And I look forward to our next few when we're just a little bit more smooth. It's going to get better. It's going to be lots of fun. We're going to talk about all the cool things and good things and bad things and emotional things in life. It's going to be great. We're just going to chat just like regular girls, regular ladies chatting about life. So welcome.
Love you.
Love you. Ciao.
Bye. Okay, well, here we are at our top most downloaded episode in the first week, which is by no surprise. It was episode 35, Living in the Rumble. This was the episode that Chrissy announced her breakup, and our numbers shot through the roof that week. It was wild. You were all so incredibly supportive and sent messages, and we're just so grateful to all of you for being so kind when Chrissy was, well, living in the Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. I'm very open and honest about things. I very much believe if you just tell everybody what's going on all the time, then nobody can make anything up about you because you've put it all out on the line and somebody's trying to say something that isn't true. Everybody knows, they'll be like, no, that's not actually what happened. This is what I read or what I heard on the podcast, like whatever. Anyway, but I think truly I had so many people reach out after that podcast. It was actually quite incredible. It's just being really open and honest about what's truly happening in your life. And it really, people can resonate with that. There's people that are, struggling in their own situations, or they recently done the same, or they're thinking to do the same. Like, we just become so relatable when we're very open about everything that's going on in our lives. And so I think just as far as our podcast goes, that's something that we strive for in our podcast, is creating this community and honesty, vulnerability. And so if we don't share the big parts of our life, then we're not being true to what we want this podcast to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's no sense in doing it, because that's not what we decided when we wanted to do this. As we said in a couple of the first episodes, sometimes there's things that are going on in our life and we're not going to talk about it in the exact moment, but we will talk about it. And as even with my breakup, it had happened a bit earlier than when I actually put it out to the world, not by much, but I think it's very important that we do talk about these things, because they're real things. And if we're going through them, likely other people are as well. And some people don't feel that they have anybody they could talk to about. And so if we open up, then people feel safe enough to reach out to us and to have those conversations maybe they don't feel comfortable having with other people. So thank you guys for really the love and support in that episode, and for making it the most downloaded one so far in our first week.
Sissy, tonight's episode is a little bit of some new news from you. Why don't you tell our listeners what's going on?
Okay, well, I've been holding off on talking about this because I wanted to make sure that it was the right timing for this. As I've mentioned in the beginning of August, in a couple of my peaks, pits, and plans, I'd mentioned that I was in life's rumble a little bit. And I know that was kind of cheeky of me to say that and not elaborate on that. But at the time, I was just really feeling that wasn't the time to talk about it. But I also wanted to be honest and real with everybody that, sometimes things just aren't going necessarily as planned, and we're real human beings, and that's just kind of what goes down. And, but I also wanted to be able to communicate with the people in my life. I wanted to communicate with them what was going on in person before they heard it on a podcast. So I wanted to honor that before I got on here and talked about that. So at the beginning of August, I ended my relationship with my partner, Mark, after 5.5 years. So I know I've talked about him lots. He's a great man. And so this was an extremely hard thing for me to do because I love him dearly. And, it's hard to not feel selfish when you are ending a relationship because you're no longer honoring yourself and your needs, essentially.
Well, that wraps up our top 5 episodes that were downloaded in the first week. We can't say thank you enough. Like, it's just, we'll say it a million times. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. You guys have been incredible. Seriously. Like, I'm almost at a loss for words. Sometimes that it's almost a little, I'm like, whoa, like this is really happening. People are just so supportive, and yeah, it's amazing. Thank you guys. And again, we look forward to what 2026 is going to bring for everybody.
Mm-hmm. The future episode, we'll talk about some of our podcast goals for the second season.
Definitely.
All right. Shall we move on to our peaks, pits, and plans, sis?
Yeah, looks like you're going to go first here.
Okay, pits. I slept terribly last night. I got maybe 3 hours of very broken sleep last night because I'm very worried about Dad. He's deep in some cybercrime that he's a victim of, and we're just waiting for the shoe to drop. We'll get into this story, but like as a family, we have done what we can, and it's not unlike other people's dealing with addictions. So here we are, and it's exhausting. So that is my pit. Peaks. Lots again, a lot of peaks. This is one thing that this podcast has really made me realize. There were many weeks in this year that we had 0 pits, sissy.
I know.
It's amazing. And that's why I want to re-listen to all of our podcasts again. I want to actually physically write how all of the peaks that I had in the year. And maybe the pits too, but like it'll be pages of peaks
Yeah.
and not pages of pits. So that's amazing.
If you were like
So-
me, that's all you would do is have them jotted down for the whole year.
in your notes. I guess I could go through the actual all of our show notes and or not our show notes, go through all of our script notes and pull them out. But I think things just come up organically when we're talking. So like in the actual podcast. Anyways, peaks. Lakeside Christmas party we had on Saturday evening. So that was Sean's work party. I helped organize the angel tree gifts for the families in our town on Monday, and those are distributed today. I wasn't part of distribution day. They keep a very tight, small group to help do that to protect the privacy of the beneficiaries. And so, but I was also working, but I was really happy to do that work again this year. I really enjoy the people that I get to do that with. I hosted Friends Miss. So we had a ham and potato au gratin and green beans and like a cauliflower dinner. It was amazing. It was so good to have that.
That
on
was
Monday.
last night? Last night?
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that yet. You didn't tell me that last night. I was so busy tacking.
You have a lot to tell me. This is wild, you guys. Christine and I were on the phone for 2 hours last night because we didn't talk to each other on Monday night.
For one day.
For one day. Oh, it's hilarious. Anyways,
That is pretty funny. Like a lot happened in that 24 hours.
I guess
I didn't
so.
even hear what happened in your life. You just listened to all of mine.
It's all good. Yeah, it was fine. Okay, and plans. Well, it's getting close to come to Regina, so I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow. I'm getting a pedicure on Friday. I have a massage on Friday.
You were
I
getting
will be
like, pampered up like you're going on a freaking hot holiday. I love it. You're like, I'm going on vacation. I'm getting dollied up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just my usual time for my haircut. Anyways,
Okay.
like every 8 weeks. So that's not out of cycle. And one of my 2026 goals, it's going to be the year of my feet. I want to really take care of my feet and my toes this year coming up. And so this is my first pedicure to myself. It's leading me into the new year.
Oh, good. So you'll start off on good feet.
That's right. So yeah, getting ready to hit the road will be also the plans this weekend. We will be busy doing laundry and packing, and we are driving back to Regina on Wednesday. Weather dependent. Let's pray to the weather gods, everybody. That the weather.
Really, you just have to get out of the mountains, because once you get to Saskatchewan, it looks pretty decent. Actually, I think you're gonna have some great weather, and I think it's actually gonna be like not super cold while you're here. So I think you're just gonna need to make it through the mountains, through Calgary. And then slow and steady till you get to Saskatchewan, and I think it'll be okay.
I looked at the long range forecast, and I was pleasantly surprised that it's the overnight lows that are -20, not the daytime highs.
Yeah, and some sun, so it could be really beautiful. Yeah. You know, we could have a really great 4 days. Well, we're going to, not could. We're going to have a great time when you're here. So
yeah,
awesome.
Good vibes.
Good vibes.
All right,
yes.
Trissy, your turn.
Okay, well, I didn't have any pits until, we started this podcast, and then we got a little bit more news about the situation that Dad is in. So then that's just like a little bit more of a pit. But again, I'm not going to dwell on that. Peaks. Well, I had dinner with my girls from my women's group, like You Make Sense. So there was another gal that was with us that was from that. She's not in Emergence, but anyways, she kind of planned a little get together. And so we all got together at Crave in Regina and had this like incredible like an incredibly great time. Oh my God. We were just like hysterical. They put you in your own room, thank God, because we were like just laughing so hard. It was so good for the soul. Like my belly hurt from laughing so hard. Like it was awesome. Just one of the girls made a post on social media about she's always longed for friends like this. And I would say very similar. And I have had friends like this in the past, but in the last, I haven't necessarily had like that kind of relationship with a group of women in a long time. So it's just so good. It's just so good. You can just it was just awesome. So that was lovely. And then, well, I'm going to just continue. Like I'm still being spoiled with Christmas presents because that's what happens when you work in this industry. So what have I gotten since the last time I checked in? A bottle of Prosecco, which I don't drink, but that's going to go to Christmas for mimosas for anybody that wants one or whatever. That will be that, because I think my sister-in-law likes Prosecco. I think she doesn't drink much, but she likes a little bit of that from time to time. I got a box of chocolates. I got a whole entire container, a big container of homemade baking. Like it's huge. I'm saving it. It's in the freezer right now for Christmas. And then I got a collagen face mask, and I got a little homemade. I'm just looking at it right now. It's a little cross-stitch butterfly from a client today. So cute. Like it's awesome. Like I'm just spoiled. It's crazy. It's so nice. And people are just like, it's such a joyful time in a hair salon. Seriously, you guys, if you ever go to a hair salon during Christmas, it's good vibes always. And it's just so thoughtful of people. And I get hugs from every single person, which is also my jam. Like I'm a hugger, and sometimes I never know if it's appropriate, but at Christmas, everybody gets a hug because it's Christmas. I'm like, Merry Christmas. I got to get a hug in. And it's like, some people, I don't know if they would like a hug on a regular basis, but they can't say no at Christmas time. So I like that. Anyways. And then, I kind of had a weird day today because we had this like rainstorm happening today. So it was like sheer ice, travel not recommended from the minute I woke up this morning. So I knew it was going to be interesting at the salon because I had moved a client from today till Friday night because they knew that they were concerned about the weather. Then I had another, like brother Neil, he wasn't able to make it out for his haircut, which is fine. I'm like, just let me know whenever. But then it left like some gaps. But this is just like the Pura Vida way. And I never stress about stuff. And it's like, of course, I always have dudes that call me last minute. So guess what I did in my gaps today? I cut all the dude's hair, and it was awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm always like, I don't even like it. Just happens. There's never like, I think, oh my gosh, I have this, like, it's Christmas and I have this opening. Like, this is insane. And then it's like, you know what? The universe gifted me that because I always have those last minute dudes, and always, it's no fail. And I get it. Like, most of these guys don't work in town. And then it's like, kind of depends on when they're going to be home when a job wraps up. So that is why it just always works out. It just always does. Anyways, and then my plans, I don't really have a lot of plans, honestly. Like, I'm just going to be wrapping up the last few things for my Christmas gifts. I've been making a lot of chocolates for Christmas. That's been my thing. So today I put together my first box. The box of chocolates turned out so nice. I was like, wow, like this looks better than I even imagined how it would look in my head. So I was so pumped about it. So that was pretty exciting. So I'm just going to like try to get some boxes put together this weekend, like crisp chocolate boxes, because I'm going to give lots of those away. And then just like kind of hang around, get things under control. I really don't need to get any more Christmas presents, really. I think I'm all done with that. So I think I can have like a little bit of a chill weekend, but I am working on Monday this week. I work late Friday and then I'm working Monday. So I will only have like Saturday, Sunday, which is fine. I can't complain, but I just have a couple days and then it's going to be busy and then it'll be Christmas. I'm working half the day on Christmas Eve too. So anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for us on this episode. If you guys are loving the podcast and this is exciting for you, please share it with the people that you love. The more that you share, the more people are exposed to our podcast. So every share, every like, every comment, all the engagement really goes a long way for us. So keep doing that. That's so helpful and we appreciate it so, so very much. If you guys want to find Sister Social Call, we are on Instagram. Stacey's on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can find myself, Krista, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And I think that's going to do it for us.
Just about. One more thing. We will have a new episode for you, our listeners, on Monday, December 29th. It is our fan favorite episode. And we recorded that episode a couple of weeks ago, so I could actually take a break from editing over the Christmas break. But we did want to make sure that you had a new episode, especially to you commuters. Yeah, and something new to listen over the holidays. So the only thing is we won't have any peaks, pits, and plans in that episode, but we promise we will have probably a pretty big list of peaks, pits, and plans when we get back on the week after. Okay. Love you, Sissy.
Love you too, sis.
Merry Christmas, everybody.